Hello and welcome back to the Curios cast. This is another weird news episode. This week we discussed the largest human poo, a priest that was arrested for a threesome in a church, and a McDonald's heist that goes wrong.
Lad Bible,
Welcome
eh?
back.
Bunch of cunts, right?
Fucking yeah.
What a bunch of cunts.
Do an article on this. Do a fucking story on this.
For anyone
fucking
that's
said, didn't he?
unaware,
Well, Whiskman didn't say specifically that Lad Bible cunts, but he said he didn't appreciate the comments
yeah,
on Lad Bible, especially. So,
yeah. For anyone out of the loop,
context.
sure you've all heard it, but a few months ago, we done an interview with the whisk man from Come Dine With Me. So this guy who was just a bit of a meme for sticking a whisk in his mouth. And Lad Bible found the video and sort of tweeted at me and just said, "Oh, it's a good video. We'd like to use it for a story. You okay with that?" And we said, "Yeah, as long as we're clearly credited and there's links provided underneath the story." Wasn't sure what kind of story it was going to be, whether it was going to be a post on their Facebook, maybe they was going to like cut up the best bits of the video. You know, they kind of share those things like, "This lad tracked down the whisk man," or if it was going to be like a little bit on their website or something. You know, they said it was going to be a story. And then basically all it was just an Instagram photo of the whisk man and a quote just saying, "The whisk man stuck a whisk in his mouth to make the producer laugh." And like that was it basically. And then in the bio, they to be fair to them, they did credit us. They wrote,
buried it deep.
Yeah, they wrote like somewhere in the middle of the little paragraph, and while on the Curios cast podcast, he said, and then like the quote from him. But there was no tag. They didn't. Yeah, they didn't tag us. They didn't at us in the bio. Bunch of bastards.
No. They must have, and they do that to people all the time as well, don't they? Is it really like? Is that like it's like an active strategy? Like, what do you lose from sharing the fucking wealth around? Like,
Just lazy.
You've already got plenty of fucking subscribers to the Lad Bible. It's cool.
Is anyone going to look at that and be like, "Oh, cool, these Curios cast guys are pretty funny. I'm going to unfollow Lad Bible
it just doesn't
follow
happen.
these guys."
Yeah, share it around. Fuck's sake.
Share the
I think
love.
it's just pure. It's just lazy.
Yeah. I think
They probably they probably do want to keep their audience on the Lad Bible page as well. Like, because obviously if they tag us in the post, then people normally they'll click on Curios Cast Instagram and have a look at that.
And that might be them for the rest of their internet session.
Yeah, they're like sessions,
Yeah.
so they want to like keep their sessions.
I mean,
on
it would draw you in, right? If you stumbled acround our page, that's you done.
Oh, yeah. You'd never leave,
The quality content on our Instagram page
Yeah,
is...
exactly.
You'd say, I've found the end of the internet.
But who also, like, no one goes on, like, Lad Bible's website or fucking, like, you don't actively look at the Lad Bible page. You just might see a post from it, click it, look at it, and go, cool, and then you might scroll on.
The only time I ever see Lad Bible is on Facebook, where
Yeah.
like someone from my friends list has tagged someone else saying, "Oh, look at this, babe."
Yeah,
Totally you, hun. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just watch this video.
Yeah.
I knew a guy that was also in his video got shared by them, and I think it did credit him a bit more. He's a guy who used to be known as Bongo Sean. Big up Bongo Sean. He's now Monker. He does really fucking well actually. He does like his own like I know him from uni, but he does like DJ. You know, like when you see a DJ and they have like a bongo player guy. He never actually played the bongos, which was quite funny. He joked about that.
Is that like a well-known double act?
You never see it. You go like
DJ
to a club.
bongo.
No, you go to a club. There's a DJ, and then there's a guy like playing like percussion, like live with along to the DJ.
Not just a bongo, but like
he never actually played a bongo, which was quite funny. Like what he actually had was congas and stuff like that, and he played it with drums and a few little things.
I thought you meant it was like specifically bongos. That was like the...
Well, his name was Bongo Sean, and everyone would think, your average person would go, look at him on the bongos. Not bongos though. No one fucking knows, really, do they? No one knows it's a conga. They think it's a bongo. Anyway,
what's the difference between a bongo and a conga?
A conga is actually the big, large ones that you see. Bongos are just too little.
Okay.
Congas are like the big version of that. But he'd actually play like short rimmed Congas. Anyway, whatever. and like timbales and stuff like that. But he did a thing where he drummed on his car. He did a video where he got sticks and played on all bits of his car, like made like a beat out of it and all the different things. And they shared like this lad playing his car, you know. But I think it was they were almost doing like a "You Been Framed" thing at the time. Remember that? And it was like, share your video, get 150 quid or something. And I don't think he ever got the 150 quid. Like someone had shared it to him, and I remember people tagging him saying, "Do you ever get your money?" You know, I saw people chatting to him like, "You ever get your fucking 150 quid off that?" And he was like, "Nah, I fucking didn't."
Of course not.
Wankers.
Yeah. Cunt Bible.
One
of my mates fucking submitted a video to You Been Framed years ago. It was my friend Adam that I'm playing a band with. He fell off stage like years ago in school. He was playing a gig and like fell off as he played, like proper ate shit. Like, it was quite savage, really. You see him just collapse through the frame. And another guy, one of our other friends, was filming it, and he submitted it to You Been Framed and got like the 250 quid. But they weren't really friends at the time. We were friends later. They were friends later, but they were sort of mortal enemies at the time. They were in different bands, and he shared it, and he got the money, and he never gave it to Ad. But it used to like once they bite off you, it's theirs forever. Yeah, you know, and so it'd come up all the time.
Oh
like
yeah, they use it so often. Like even like now, I don't even know if You've Been Framed is still running.
Well,
like if it's I'd said, like new episodes.
Last time we spoke about it, like 5 years ago, he said it would every now and then someone would message him and say, "I've seen your fucking video."
Yeah, you'll see like clips on there that have still got like the date stamp, like it's because it's a VHS. It'll be like 1994.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regurgitating.
I keep getting jibbed out by there's like stuff floating across your camera, Tom. Like an orb. I reckon you've got a little ghost in your room.
Oh, maybe a ghost in there. Maybe someone's we've got one of the ghosts we've spoke about. Could be the pirate. Could be that poltergeist. We spoke about a few ghosts, didn't we?
Yeah.
Could be the monkey ghost, wanking.
Monkey ghost. Yeah. Could be one of those dogs that have died jumping off that bridge.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. Wow. It's probably a bit of dust.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But,
talking of fucking lad Bible. Now, unfortunately, well, actually, I'll tell you what. I've got an article from some random website. Don't know what it is.
no credits given.
No idea what the website is. So I'm going to go ahead and read from this unknown website. Long-time listener, Mr. West, submitted this.
Shout out, Mr. West.
Shout out, Mr. West. Tame of the West.
Go West.
So this is some of you listeners may have seen this already. I'm going to do it anyway though. Largest known. See, and it's a bit. I'm going to dispute this in a minute straight away. Largest known human poo is 20 centimeters long and dates back to a 9th century Viking. So the largest human poo we have on record might astound, shock, surprise, or repulse you. It's so infamous and revered that it's housed in a museum and has even been likened to as valuable as jewels from the British monarchy. Terribly written sentence, I think. Anyway, the Lloyds Bank coprolite is what it's called, apparently.
I love that word, coprolite. It means like fossilised poo, doesn't it?
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Is a human turd that dates back to the 9th century, and studies have suggested it belonged to a Viking man.
How have they figured that out? Like
it does go on to explain slightly, yeah. So the historical poo, which is referred to in the scientific community as a large paleofeces or a coprolite, two very nice words to say, paleofeces, coprolite, or a desiccated human dung specimen.
Not as good.
Why desiccated? Desiccated, I thought that meant like desiccated coconut is all sprinkled.
And that's where desiccated coconut comes from.
No,
it's actually just old poo.
It certainly is not sprinkled. Let me show you it is the opposite of sprinkled. Let me fucking link you so you can marvel at its beauty. It is a good one.
20 centimetres is pretty big.
I know. I wish I brought a tape measure.
I've got a tape measure, but I'll have to open the door so you'll get a really...
I've got a tape measure.
Oh yes, what a geezer.
Get your head measured. See if it in comparison to your head. It's as long as Tom's head.
There you go.
That's pretty long. See, I want width and, I want some circumference as well, really. It doesn't give us those measurements.
No, I mean, yeah.
Pretty fucking long,
it's,
though, to be fair.
It's pretty much, for all the listeners, from my chin to, like, I guess, like the top of my head, like where my hair is meeting my head.
How So that's
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long old fucking poo. But it doesn't seem like mad unfeasible. It's like,
yeah,
I want to know girth. I want to know girth. Yeah, I want to know girth, really.
I reckon I've done a 20.
Length is all well and good. It could be one long and it could be like fucking,
Yeah. Coming out like you're pressing out a Play-Doh machine.
Yeah, exactly. A Play-Doh factory.
The
yeah.
star shape as well.
But you look at the picture, it does look girthy as well. It looks like a real...
Yeah.
It looks like one where he's been rowing over from East Anglia. He's just killed a few monks and done some pillaging and raping, and he's been holding it in all across the North Sea. He's like, fuck, as soon as he's arrived back, that's it.
Sorry, it does give us 20 centimetres long and 5 centimetres wide. So what's 5 centimetres wide, Tom? That's
not
decent.
Not too wide.
I mean, you feel very,
turd.
very, very satisfied after that poo, though.
That's quite monumental, isn't it?
Width of my nose, but I've got quite a wide nose.
Right,
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, it'd feel good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. On this topic at the end, I can finally bring up the poo topic that we always talk about, Rob.
All right, I'll remind you. Who?
I'll remind you of the topic.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk about one, and I was going to talk about one. I can't remember. I spoke about it in the podcast already, but I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Look at us getting excited about talking about poo.
I know. It says on here, while there are plenty of people who will claim to have expelled something far larger after a heavy night of drinking or after completing one hell of a food challenge, this one has been officially recognised. So next time you push one out that is longer and wider, call the authorities.
Call the authorities.
The researchers discovered that what the man was eating, they were able to discover the poo was derived from a diet of mainly meat and bread, and the outside was described as moist and peaty.
Oh,
I've had a few moist and peaty ones, isn't it?
Peaty, that's a good way to describe your poo, isn't it? Peaty.
But it seems like the man who did this historic and record-breaking turd wasn't exactly in tip-top shape. There were several hundred parasitic eggs in it, which suggests that the 9th century man was riddled with intestinal worms. It doesn't say anything about how they know he's... They reckon he was a Viking because York was formerly a Viking settlement back in the 800s and was called Jorvik. So I guess they've dated it. They don't mention how they've dated it, but I guess they've carbon dated it or something somehow. In 1991... Oh, this is funny, this bit here. In 1991, York Archaeological Trust employee and paleoscatologist, apparently, they say that in this, they laugh and say apparently that is a profession.
Yeah.
Paleoscatologist. So is that you specifically specialised in old shit?
Yeah. So what's funny is as you're reading this, I'm reading along as well, but on the Wikipedia, and it's literally word for word the same. Like this unknown journalism cunty website has literally just copy and pasted Wikipedia, but put one or two words in between. And so I clicked on paleoscatology, and it just takes you to the page for scatology. I'm
reading this from Wikipedia, then, if anyone wants to look at it.
In medicine and biology, scatology or coprology is the study of feces.
There you go. And apparently this person is known, Dr. Andrew Jones is known to say, this is the most exciting piece of excrement I've ever seen, in its own way as irreplaceable as the crown jewels. Apparently, though, it got broke. So some teacher knocked it, broke into 3 pieces. So that's why when you see the picture, it's kind of got this frame around it.
Yeah, you can see there's also a sort of crack in the middle, it looks like, as well.
Yeah.
Looking, they just got a bit of super glue.
I guess
got another bit of shit.
Use it like mortar.
Yeah. But I'd like to see it, right? Because I'm going to... Basically, what I wanted to talk about was I saw the biggest shit I think probably anyone's ever done. Ever. It was crazy. I was at a pub. There's this pub we go to, the Swan in Horndon-on-the-Hill. Big up the Swan. Right, they used to do this thing. Remember the Feast and Fair, George, that would go on? So as part of the Feast and Fair, the Swan would have a thing going on, right? So it's a couple of years, we did we put a stage up there. We helped out the landlady at the time, Rita. Big up Rita. And we'd put the stage, we'd do the stage of it, we did the music and shit like that. So we was at one of these Feast and Fairs, and we was there all day, getting a bit pissed up. And I went to the toilet, and I can't remember. I feel like someone showed me first or something. Like someone grabbed me and was like, "You gotta fucking see that in there." Looked in the toilet. I swear to God, like it's hard to really grasp how big this fucking thing was. I know the water magnifiers, right? And maybe it had been sat there for a bit, and the water, yeah. And well, sorry, for starters, it disappeared up the bowl, right? But I'm talking the girth. The girth was crazy. Like it was at least 4 centimeters wide. No, that was five.
That's not a fiver.
It was like eight or 9, like wide. I swear. Like, give me an 8 or 9. Yeah, it was about 8 or 9 wide. I swear to God. Which is like, yeah, well, yeah.
Look, you laugh at my Bigfoot sightings. You know, people describing how they've seen Bigfoot. You're trying to now describe a poo that you once saw in a toilet.
I swear.
So you're doing the equivalent of one of my bullshit Bigfoot stories.
Honestly though, like I know the water magnifies a bit. I'll account for that. Maybe it had sat there so long that the water had absorbed somehow and it had swelled. But like. Whatever, it was fucking crazy wide, and it filled the entire bowl and disappeared. There was who knows how much more of it was up that bowl, right, up that U-turn, and it was the point where we were like running to get like one of us would stand guards to make sure, like no one tried to flush it. Yeah, like I don't think it was getting flushed by accident though, but yeah, obviously, and like the other thing as well, there was no toilet paper, so whoever he did it for, I've got to leave that in all his glory. Or they flushed and the toilet paper went and that fucker stayed there. Like he went, like we ran off. We get him, come and see this. You gotta come see it. Everyone was running in. I guess it was because none of us have got a photo of it. So maybe it was just about long enough ago that we didn't. I don't know. We must have had smartphones. It wasn't that long ago. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know why we didn't take a photo of it. I don't know why we didn't.
It's maybe like ghosts. You can't catch them on film.
Yeah, maybe it was. But the funny thing about this was I went and got the landlady at the time. So she was like in her 60s, right? Rita. Went and got her, and I was like for some reason, she obviously saw this commotion, like a lot of us, like we'd be there showing someone as well, and like some just random bloke would obviously just come in to go to the toilet, see if you ever stood around, and we'd be like, you got to address this now, like mate, you got to see this shit, and then he'd what, and he would come and have a look, and he'd look, oh Christ, yeah.
I'd love it if I walked into the toilet and someone asked me to look at this shit.
So Rita must have got this commotion. I was running out all excited, like trying to find the next person to show, and then I was like, Rita, you got to come and see this. You got to come and see this. And she came in. She was speak like this, all right, Rob. And she came in, she was like, oh, fucking, like, she really laughed. And then we did a folk club there. So it was like, I think this was probably on the Friday, maybe like the Sunday we did folk club. And I saw her and she came up and she gave me a part. I was like, here you go, Rob. She was like, that one's on me for showing me that the other day. It's the funniest thing I've seen in ages. Thanks again. She really loved it. She made her fucking year.
You should have made it like an attraction. Like you get like a little velvet rope across the cubicle and charge a quid to get in.
At the Feast and Fair, because people were showing off their produce at the Feast and Fair. That was the whole point of it, wasn't it?
What do you mean showing off their produce?
Well, it was always like beekeepers and like local artisans.
Someone you could have had it as well.
It's like like the people used to try and grow the biggest marrow.
Yeah, we should have really, thinking about it now, like the more I think about it, like for starters, why the fuck didn't I take a photo? But yeah, I should have really got it out.
Yeah,
we should have really tried
to get it out, taken it to York and said, fucking old.
Well, have you guys seen that?
Jorvik, whatever his name was. Well, he needs to try harder because I've got a 15-footer here.
Well, there was a video that did the rounds for a while. It was like On the Tools or something. It was one of them where a guy was like,
it was like hanging out the toilet seat, wasn't it?
He's called in to like get rid of it or something, and they were like, the only way is getting it out or something, and he like stabs it with something, and he gets it out, and it was crazy big. This one in the video, and it was about that. I think it was about the same.
Yeah.
Fuck knows what the guy had eaten, or craziest poo I've ever seen. Definitely bigger than Jorvik. Or
That's a good
anyway,
story.
That's me. That's my poo and Jorvik's Viking poo. If anyone's got a big poo, or if anyone of my mates that are listening and they did take a photo, please fucking send it to me. I'd love for that. I'm going to put the word out. Yeah, I really don't think that any of us took a photo. I don't know why. That's one of my biggest regrets in life. If I had one chance to go back in time, I wouldn't use it on like going to buy Bitcoin or anything. I would fucking get a picture of that poo.
Might make you more than Bitcoin.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Sell that as an NFT. when I was in primary school, our toilets were a fucking state. Like they were. So many kids just used to go to the toilet and then shit and then not flush, and then other kids would seemingly go and shit on top of the shit and also not flush, because you'd go to the toilet and it would be like a daily game where like you'd go in the toilet, there would always be some other boys hanging in there, like, be like, do you want to see the cubicles? And you'd be like, yeah. And the game was, you just like open the door and just react to how bad the toilet was. So sometimes it wouldn't be too bad. You'd be like, oh, like a bit of wee on the seat there, but nothing else. And then like the next one you'd open up, there might be like shit on the wall, or there might be like shit, like sometimes there'd be so much shit piled up it's like cresting the actual like seat itself. And
little boys are fucked, don't they?
Yeah, it was fucked. And one day I remember going in there, we were playing this game, so you open a door, so you'd get like a crowd of you, so there'd be like 6-7 of you all there, and someone swings open the door, and then you see what state the toilet was in. And I remember once someone had planted a McDonald's flag in the top of the toilet. There was like a mountain of shit, and then there used to be these like flags you could get from McDonald's. You know, you could get like balloons and shit. They were giving out flags that you're supposed to like put on the top of your car or something, and someone had just brought one in and just stuck it into the top of this pile of shit.
Claimed it.
Yeah, it was great.
It for McDonald's.
Yeah.
My poo related story that I wanted to bring up was something that Rob and I have spoken about a few times. Probably I think it was about 6 years ago. I don't know why me and Rob spoke about this, but I was able to chart when my body was at its physical peak.
Oh yeah, because I just love it. That's why
I remember this.
Yeah, so
yeah.
For some reason, so I guess I was like 22, maybe 21 or something like that, whenever. For 2 weeks straight, I didn't have to wipe after doing a poo. So I still did, but
yeah. Hashtag no wipes necessary.
Hashtag no wipes necessary for 2 weeks, and then it just stopped. So I must have, for those 2 weeks, achieved perfect balance in all aspects of my bodily functions. You know, my diet must have been perfect.
Oh, it's amazing.
But yeah, for 2 whole weeks, I remember coming into work at the time and telling Rob I was just excited, and then the next day I'd see him again. I'd be like, still no wipe. I'm still good. 2 weeks.
My favourite type of poo is a ghost poo. So you do a shit and you have a wipe, and it's like, yeah, no evidence. So you obviously wipe again because you're like, surely not. And then when you look down the toilet, yeah, it's gone up the thing of it. So you start to doubt yourself. You have like existential doubt, like, did I even poo? Like maybe I didn't.
Here in the Netherlands, the toilet we've got in our flat, I've seen in a few places, they've got like a little shelf inside.
Oh,
so you're sitting down.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's awful. So it's like an inspection shelf. So you can if you need to, you can look at your poo and say, it's healthy.
Like,
it's all right.
You don't shit. Your shit doesn't fall into the water. It falls on, like, the bowl is not kind of like, I guess, like straight down. The bowl goes at like almost like not a 90-degree angle, maybe like an 80-degree angle.
Like a wave pool.
Yeah, it's
because then if you do a big one, a big job, you flush and it hits the deposit and like rolls over the deposit. So if you do a big enough one, you're in danger of getting water coming out the bowl.
Mortar? Did you call it mortar?
No, water.
I thought you called it mortar.
Mortar.
Fuck, that's really weird. Yeah,
it's weird.
You might have to film one for us, I'm afraid, George. I kind of need to see that. Yeah.
Like our mutual friend used to film.
Yes. Fucking do fucking Lawford on the podcast. There's no need to pretend who it is not.
Oh yeah, Lawford used to film himself having a shit.
He's probably spoken about that in the car.
I need to read this. So I googled no wipe poo, and I found a Quora question where someone said, after I defecate and attempt to wipe, there's never anything on the toilet paper. This has been going on for a few weeks now. Is this normal?
That was me 6 years ago.
Yeah. And then someone's commenting just saying like, oh, it could be you're dehydrated, do this, do that. There might be something wrong with you. Check with your GP. Like, don't come here for medical advice. And then someone has replied and said, wait a second, Do not jump to conclusions without making sure you've reached the maximum anal hygiene. From your question, I can safely tell you that you are missing a big part of your anal hygiene, and that part begins with your wiping method. Do you think that wiping just the outside of your anal spot will be hygienically enough?
Anal spot.
Yeah. A poop has just come out from inside your anal canal to the outside world. Why would you forget to clean the inside and then the outside? You don't wipe first. You use your fingers, water, and a bit of olive oil, and then wipe.
Fuck off! No.
The only way to clean your butthole, or you may call it your arsehole, is by inserting your left middle finger inside your arse after you're done. At least this is how my mother taught me for many years.
No.
If you were having
do you reckon it was his mum's finger?
If you were having a hard time doing that, simply use the sprayer or a dispenser that is filled with olive oil. Put it on your left middle finger, insert it gently into your butthole, clean the anus or rectum, as you wish to call it, with the olive oil, and then try inserting water using your left middle finger.
No. What the fuck?
Has he got any replies to that?
I love it. One of those things where, like, if that was on Reddit or something, there'd be loads of people like, dude, that is not what
There's
everyone
probably
does.
a Reddit for people that
do
that.
realise that is not what everyone does.
Yeah, I need to sign up to Quora, but I'm just going to do it with the Curios account. That'll be fine. But, it'll take me too long.
All right,
but
we can report
it had one upvote, probably him actually.
Yeah,
but
why has it got to be your left middle finger? And why your middle finger?
No, little finger. He said, didn't he?
That's weirder. If it's the little finger.
I think he said. Well, middle.
It's the littlest finger. I was thinking.
You know, but like that's you're not going to get purchase with that.
You don't get much purchase with your little finger, no.
What did someone say?
But it's the least girthy, isn't it? I think you want to start. You
don't want to use your thumb. You don't want to put your thumb up there.
This is actually funny. I'm glad I looked at the comments. I'm a little late, but you aren't supposed to do that. You could give yourself fissures and hemorrhoids. And then he replied back and said, "Don't tell me what to do. I've been doing it for almost 15 entire years. Where are you all this time?"
15 entire years.
No one dares to do it because most of you are scared to explore and discover your own body. Although, make sure you do it when your nails are completely removed or clipped using a real nail clipper.
Mad. Well, brave new world, mate.
Yeah. I love people like this who clearly just go on there just to troll, like answer genuine questions, and people take them seriously as well.
No, he was being serious.
I think he was being serious.
He's been firing all sorts of stuff up there.
Yeah.
Why would you need to clean the inside of your bumhole?
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get more poo up there, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what I've never understood? B-days.
No, mate, I'd love a B-day.
Cleaner. I don't understand how it's cleaner.
No, it's just, of course it is.
Why?
Of course it is.
How much pressure you get off a B-day, though?
No, I think you do a bit of both, didn't you? I think it's the idea. You'd probably, like, as if it ain't the best. When I think you do get, I think they are quite pressured.
I think so.
And like the best thing ever. Sometimes I'll do it on purpose. I will have a shit and I will go straight in the shower. It's amazing.
Like, without wiping?
Yeah, it's a bit grim, really.
That is horrible. That is horrible.
Yeah, don't tell Gina.
Don't ever have a shower at Rob's house.
No, I ain't letting her.
Does Gina know?
No, probably not. Well, I mean, yeah, she does now. She's listening to this. She's probably down. She can probably hear me right now. She's like,
that is horrible. That's a horrible image.
Oh yeah, it is a horrible image. Oh, it's great. You feel so much better.
I don't, but why? Because you got shit running down your leg.
You don't it's not running down my leg, is it? It's just like it just goes and then it's gone, isn't it?
What if you got a big, like, chunky one and you clog your shower?
Well, how much? I mean, like,
how much shit are you getting on the inside of your arsehole?
You're cutting off well too early.
Are you telling me that you're going to then mush it through the plug with your foot?
No, but I'm not cutting off that early. You're cutting off too early for doing that. You're leaving like half a shit in your bum. You're rushing it, mate. I used to rush it once upon a time, and now, I chill with it. I make it an event.
Yeah.
Watch a video, maybe. You know.
Get your finger up there.
Yeah.
Tease it out.
My mate from uni, he's also a listener. Big up, Josh.
Wait, what? All your mates have to have like a thing before their name, like a little adjective. Like you've got all right. Turkish Glenn, groundworker Steve, Bongo, whatever.
All right, Bassy Josh.
Bassy Josh.
He used to take the most ridiculous amount of time having a poo, and I once heard him in there playing guitar. He took his guitar in there to have a shit.
I think some people just do it to get away, don't they?
Yeah, just for a moment. Yeah.
My pooing time is the one time that I can't be disturbed. You know.
Yeah, I quite like it. I relax with it now. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm in and out.
I used to be in and out, but I've perhaps it's something that comes with age. Anyway, but we talked about poo enough now, I think.
Yeah, half hour of it.
This could be a whole episode. This good.
I like that though. I enjoyed it. Giant poo. What can you not like about that?
Yeah, surprised that went on so long.
Just a shame that the website it was on. Really.
No, Wikipedia.
What Wikipedia? Yeah,
Wikipedia.
Get everything you need there.
Yeah,
they're probably all right.
Crack on.
I'll jump in next then.
Yeah, go on.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one that I had on the back burner for a while, and I'm hoping. I don't think we've discussed it in passing. It's a few months old. Louisiana priest arrested for recording himself having a threesome with 2 dominatrices on church altar.
Yeah, good on him.
I don't think we've discussed it. I think the reason why I think we have is because I've always had it on my list. So anyway, so Reverend Travis Clark was arrested on September 30th, and the unholy trio was discovered by a passerby who noticed the lights at St. Peter and Paul Roman Catholic Church.
Oh, what grass?
In Louisiana.
Why was he arrested for it?
He's been arrested, yeah.
Yeah, but why? What's the crime?
Because he's having sex in the church. And someone saw
church,
him.
Isn't it? And then
So
don't it like his house if you're the priest?
No,
I suppose
that's the Lord's house.
That'd be the parochial house next door, isn't it?
And I think also that's like desecrating it, isn't it? Isn't that what Satanists do?
But it's not like against the law, is it?
Well, he's been arrested and charged with obscenity. So I guess that's like public sex. You know?
Okay. I guess churches
and the fact that he was dressed up as a priest having sex with 2 women in the church.
Was he weren't dressed? Was he in his robes at the time?
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
he's in his habit. Is it called a habit?
Yeah. No, it's a nun's habit.
Look at his mugshot, man. He looks fucking weird.
You got him, Mo. You put a link in, have you? Let me see him.
No,
I'll send you the link. There's a great picture of him. Obviously not his mugshot, but like maybe a one you'd have on the website that, you know, like the church website. Yeah. Little headshot. Look at the headshot of him. He doesn't look like a real priest. He looks like a bad
he looks like
90s sitcom.
Yeah, he looks like a frat boy, like going to a party as a priest.
Looks ridiculous.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah.
So he was arrested last month. Authorities identified him after he was arrested, and the 2 women were adult film actress Mindy Dixon, 41, and 23-year-old Melissa Cheng. They were reportedly caught in the act by a passerby who noticed the lights were on in the church after hours. And then the witness looked inside the church and allegedly saw Clark having sex with the women. The witness said the women were dressed in corsets and were wearing high-heeled boots. Jesus, what was that noise?
that was me pressing play on the video.
Also, according to the witness, stage lighting, sex toys, and a cell phone on a tripod were also said to be on the stage in the church.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Wait, he had stage lights set up, and they were filming it as well.
Yeah. So they were filming it. So whether it was going to be for
and camera, but using a cell phone and camera, both mounted on a tripod. Mate, they were getting multi-angles, stage lighting set up. They were obviously just actually making content.
Yeah, guess so. So one of the women had posted about the act on social media before it had occurred. So, they weren't sort of keeping it secret, I guess. They were just out there.
I think that's the video I just saw. Yeah, it's like welcome to church. Deep.
So
maybe they've done it before and he only got caught for this one.
She So I think like once she was arrested. In the video she said that she was travelling to the New Orleans area to defile a house of God with another dominatrix. So that was probably part of the thing, like drumming up controversy. With that. So church law says that when sacred places are violated, they must be repaired by penitential rite before they can be used again. So it's now been sort of restored to being sanctified, so it can now be used as a church again. Because they were like, we can't use this as a church. There's cum everywhere.
Quite funny, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that he's being arrested for obscenity.
Yeah, I'm
so that's the only charge they've been arrested on. There's no other charge, just obscenity.
Yeah, I mean,
there is no other charge. Like, the doors are locked and everything. I'm surprised it's even got anything to do with it. I suppose all I can say is it ain't your place to do that. It's owned by the church, whether that means.
Yeah, I was going to compare it to just saying like if we went into a church and just started banging, but obviously we're not allowed on the church property, right, without permission. So surely that'd be trespassing, but. Would that be like the equivalent of, anyone going into their place of work and then like after hours and?
I suppose it's just against, it's against company policy.
Yeah, it's against, you get done by the work. Was it like, me banging in the Curios car studio? Like,
that is against Curios car's policy.
Yeah, it's against the band policy as well. Like we actually have a policy about it. Like no banging in the studio.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, but
just out to the toilets.
Yeah, but like I don't see how that's against the law. America's fucked though, isn't it? Like I'm not sure if. I guess the idea of a church is it's meant to be anyone can come in at any time. I suppose.
Well, he was coming in at any time, wasn't
he? So I guess it's like a public place. I suppose.
The fact that someone would grass as well. What a little bitch. Like. I don't know. I'd want to know what's going on. Maybe if like you heard it, whatever, like have a little peek through the windows, go, have a
little wank,
sit in the pews and have a little look. But
who goes to church? It was probably some like church goer.
Yeah,
and they were absolutely, their eyes were burnt. By the satanic ritual that they saw.
I want to know what.
I'm surprised there's nothing saying they thought it was satanic or anything like that. I'm surprised there's nothing.
Well, that's like the
satanic
big thing
rituals.
In Satanism.
Yeah.
But there's no suggestion.
No,
that it was there. I wonder what time it was. It just says after hours. So was that just like what time was the church service normally? Is there one in the evening?
They'd probably do it late at night, surely.
Oh, it says here actually. I've just found an update. He was charged with vandalism.
What?
So he didn't get charged with obscenities. He just got charged with vandalism because he had sex on the altar.
Being a vandal.
Should dominatrices be dominatri? Like the plural.
I mean, I'm surely they probably went to the effort to at least Google the plural of dominatrix, as that's the main bulk of the article. You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
So he won't face charges on obscenities, but just for vandalism. So the church actually burnt the altar. They took the altar out, burned it, and then they put a new one in and consecrated it.
Mate, do you know what's funny? The plural of dominatrix is, I don't know, it is dominatrices or dominatrixes.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
But that was it. Nice. I guess he's not allowed to be a priest anymore. That would be my guess.
I was going to. Yeah, it doesn't say, does it? But
probably
not. Probably frowned upon.
Yeah, previously that I have been rather critical of the church because they were a bunch of cunts. But no, but I actually don't mind. I don't mind this guy. He's all right. He does look.
I thought you were going to say for a second. I thought you were going to say, but I see their point in this. No. This lad.
No, this guy's all right.
As priests go.
I don't think what he done was wrong, really. But.
I just found a picture. I'll put it in our
not
group
really.
chat. He just looks. Yeah. You said he looks like a frat boy. He looks even more like a frat boy in this picture. Like he's just coming out of a fraternity house after a heavy night.
Yeah, he really does, doesn't he?
He's just wearing like
Well, that's the thing that's funny. I
bottoms.
guess, you think about like who becomes a priest. I know as hustles go, there are probably better ones, but like you get a house, you get paid. There's got to be some people that are just like, fuck it, I've not got a lot else going. I can see the path my life is taking. I'll just be I'll get the house, I'll do the fucking thing, but really, I'll just get a couple of dominatrix in every now and then, and I'll make a little extra money selling it on Pornhub or whatever. There's got to be, maybe not all doing that, but there's got to be. I wonder if there's a few that just like, I don't really believe in God. Whatever. I just need a fucking house.
Yeah, I reckon most of them don't. I reckon there's more that don't and do.
Most. You're going with most.
I reckon more than 50%.
More than 50% of priests, you think, don't believe in God. They just need somewhere to live.
Not that they just need somewhere to live, but they know, like, because they're the ones who's meant to be talking to God, and when he don't reply, what happens then?
I don't know, but they probably think they hear him. I don't know, or you see it in the wind, or
fucking hell.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Can't even see the wind.
Well, not if you don't have faith, George.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, I guess I'm quite pessimistic about the church, but no, they must know. They must know it's not real. They're just fooling everyone. That like super mega like religious fucking weird guy who's like he looks like
demon eyes.
Yeah, he looks like the fucking devil. He genuinely.
I think we've spoken about him.
I know what you mean. The fucking preacher who does that prosperity preaching.
Yeah.
There was like an interviewer, and he
he catches him off
Kenneth
guard.
Copeland.
Yeah. That's that cunt.
Yeah. He looks like an absolute ghoul, and
he really does. Ghoul.
And he's literally evil. He's like lying to people, like pretending that people are like he's healing people with their hand. When like COVID was a thing, he was like pretending that he's curing people of COVID, and like he's giving them the strength to fight off. And he is like mega fucking rich. He's like worth like $500 million or something. Yeah,
well, they do that. What's called prosperity preaching, where it's like they preach the prosperity Bible, where it's like to serve God is to be wealthy. And it's fucked. It's absolutely outrageous. And it's like the more tidings you give us, the more God will bestow to you. It's fucked. And it is, I think we said this before, didn't we? It's like, if the devil was real, he'd be doing that shit. Like, wouldn't he? Like, if the devil was real, he'd be like, well, the best devilish thing to do is to pretend that I'm worshipping God and really rip people off. Like, that's what the devil would do. If I was the devil, that's what you'd fucking do.
Exactly. This guy is like perfect casting for like a TV show or a film where the devil has risen and is taking on the form of this prick here.
Yeah.
Like he looks like, you can imagine like this picture that we've got on the screen is him just sitting there smiling, looking at the camera, but he just looks like there's like a.
He's got dead eyes.
Dead eyes. You can imagine him glowing red, and
he really does look like the fucking devil incarnate. Yeah,
he is such a caricature of like a evil like devil.
I remember watching a video recently, or maybe not recently, within the last year, of him talking to another one of these preachers. Live, and they were justifying why they are buying new helicopters and private jets. And like part of their reasoning was that they can then spread the word of God easier in their private jets because on like coach, like flying coach.
Yeah.
Like then that's the devil flies coach. It was like a controversial thing where he basically said that poor people are the devil, even though he's then asking people to then give money.
Yeah, there's a video
people
that's
that
like,
are flying coach are giving him money.
Yeah,
or whatever.
rich pastor goes ballistic when asked about private jets.
That's it.
Yeah, he's just a scumbag.
Yeah, that's it. A long tube with a bunch of demons compared to flying in a commercial plane to getting into a long tube with a bunch of demons. What a cunt.
The worst thing is, like, you know, people are going to do shitty things, like, to make money and stuff, but it's the fact that so many people have given him money to get to this point. Like, he has to have... a lot of people have had to give him money for him to get this rich. Like, I don't care if people get rich, and obviously people do shady things to get rich, but it's literally taken from the poor.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on from that.
By the way, just one last thing on that. There's a really good YouTube video. I'll send you guys the link. Maybe we can drop the link somewhere in here. But about that guy, that guy like plays like metal music over different things, and there's that Kenneth Copeland doing that COVID-19 thing, and the guy's like played like metal riffs over it, and it's so good. It's fucking perfect.
Oh yeah, there was a few of them, I think.
Yeah,
a few different bits and pieces.
This one guy done it. Yeah, I'll send you the link later.
All right, so this guy tried to rob a McDonald's and he demanded chicken nuggets, but because it was too early, he had to accept a McMuffin because it was before.
We've all been there, haven't we?
11 o'clock, yeah. So it's usually the opposite. You want the breakfast stuff and you don't make it in time, and then they've switched over to nuggets and burgers. But
I've done the opposite. I've been out on a night out, gone there like fucked, really wanting just the dirty McDonald's, and they're like, we started breakfast, and you're like, no, I don't want breakfast. I want fucking
real food,
nuggets.
But yeah, so McDonald's robber demands chicken nuggets, has to accept breakfast food because it was still too early. Apparently, the suspect had to accept a McMuffin instead. This was it just says McDonald's really is strict about what time lunch starts. A man has been jailed for robbing a McDonald's in England and making off with not only some cash but also food. Unfortunately for him, not only did he get caught, but he also wasn't even able to get the meal he was hoping for at the time of robbery. Now, what's funny is this guy actually robbed like another place the day before. It says it in the second link. So there's CCTV footage of him going in, and he's got a fake gun. It turns out it was like an unloaded air rifle, and so he just holds the gun up against this guy's head, gets him to take the money out of the till, and take the money out of the safe in the office, and it worked out to like 200 quid or something. Like, they don't have a lot of cash.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a huge... Especially if you went first thing in the morning. Like, is you know, like,
so a red tin containing £250 in notes, and then 2 float bags containing £100 each. So £450. And unfortunately, a McMuffin.
I like he settled for it as well, though. Right, go on, fuck
yeah, so in the video, he goes and gets the money from the till, goes in the office, the guy opens the safe, gives him the money. The guy's doing what you should do if you're fucking, a retail worker with a gun against your head. You just give him the money. And and then he goes, and there's this woman, like, man in the grill station and stuff, and she's just like, boxing him up like a McMuffin and handing it over. And she's like well casual about it. Like, the guy's got his hands up and you can tell he's shook. And this girl is just like treating him like he's just a normal customer. Just like, yeah, there you go. And like,
did you ask if he wanted sauce or anything?
Like, not bothered by it at all. But yeah, apparently he asked for nuggets. He's like, all right, while I want some chicken nuggets. And they had to just say to him, like, oh, we haven't started nuggets yet. It's it was 7 a.m, so obviously way too early, and they had
what a terribly thought through plan. Like, like they were never going to have that much money by then.
Yeah.
I reckon the nuggets was what he really wanted, and the money was like, I don't want it to look stupid. I don't want to be robbing somewhere just for nuggets. So I better ask him for some money as well.
Well, it says
all the places to rob as well. McDonald's, dude.
Yeah, so the night before, he robbed a takeaway called Miss Millie's, which is like a fried chicken shop, and he left with cash and some fried chicken. So he's obviously just gets a little bit peckish. Some people are nervous eaters, aren't they? So like when he might just
I've like fucked myself up. Look.
What?
What's wrong with you?
You cut yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. Running down for a piss quickly. I bashed, got all excited, and I've cut myself on something.
Ghost. It's a ghost.
The things we go through to record these episodes for you, injuries and everything.
Yeah.
Have you cut your hand and your elbow?
No. I wiped the blood. Not just I think my elbow hurts a bit, and just blood all over it. She is well caged. I've just got the video on now. She is proper chill about it, isn't she? She doesn't give a shit. She's like, yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, she doesn't care. The guy's proper shook up about it, and she just, she's had enough. But that's pretty much it, really. I just thought it was funny that he had to like.
I like on this article, the Sun makes sure that you know when McDonald's serve breakfast. They've got like a little.
There's a whole like midpoint sub article about when McDonald's serves breakfast,
and also why.
Yeah.
Does it say why? Does it say explain why?
Yeah. So the reason why that you can't have McDonald's breakfast and their main menu at the same time is because the food's cooked at slightly different temperatures and like the equipment's used differently, so they can't have them both running simultaneously. I
never knew that.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
I think it's a fucking excuse. You can make a bigger kitchen.
I think there are some places. It's true. There are some places. I think maybe in America or something where they trial doing the breakfast menu all day. I feel like it happened somewhere in England. It was like being trialed, and like maybe like someone posted an article about it. You can get breakfast all day at this one.
Yeah, I think in America they have McDonald's breakfast all day long.
Yeah, of course they fucking do.
But yeah, I mean, we recently got it bumped up from 10:30 to 11. So
is it?
There's
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's it, really.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
But they'll be entirely plant based by 2025 after this protest.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we can all go together.
Yeah.
I guess we got a few minutes left. You know, a couple weeks ago, I asked that question that my brother asked me about. Would you take £1 million if every single time you saw a dead animal on the side of the road,
you threw up? I can't not think that now. Every time I see one now, I can't not think about it.
Yeah, and it is a good amount. And we got quite a lot of a response on TikTok. I think it's got like 6,000 views or so, and like people commenting and arguing about it, about whether they would or wouldn't. Like people obviously in their area. Some people do and don't get a lot of animals. So some people saying, yeah, of course, I never see dead animals on the road. Yeah, great for you. Like you don't live near live near trees and that. But now my brother keeps asking me more questions to ask on the podcast. And he keeps giving me these like ridiculous questions. And I said to him, I was like, okay, I'll have him in the back of my mind, and I'll if the topic comes up and it is relevant to a question that you've asked, then I'll ask it. And I guess it's relevant now because you've cut your arm and you're bleeding. And he wanted me to ask you to what the time when you've bled the most. Because he asked me the other day, he's like, what's the most amount of pain you've ever experienced? Like, what's the most like physical pain you've been through? And I didn't really have one. I haven't like been through a huge amount of pain. There was at a time I had to get like my thumb cut open. I didn't have any anaesthetic or anything, but operated on. I spoke about that like months and months ago on a podcast. But then he asked me, what's the time you've like bled the most? And I didn't really know. It's probably the same time, but don't know.
Thankfully, I can't say. Touch wood. I've had a particularly bled experience.
That's good then.
I had a operation on my mouth when I was maybe 13. I had to have like one of my teeth was not growing into where it should be, so I had to put a chain on the tooth and obviously attach it to braces and shit. But it meant they had to cut my mouth open, inside, to find the tooth, attach the chain, and then pull it slowly down. No. So, my mouth was just fucked. And I remember waking up in the as they put me under for the anaesthetic, I must have started like thrashing around, like moving around, like when I was all fucked, and like I knocked the thing out of my vein, you know, like
like the is it a cannula?
Catheter, not catheter. That goes up your willy, doesn't it?
Yeah, catheter.
Whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
Cannula. Yeah,
What Tom
cannula.
said, yeah.
So yeah, I knocked that out and was just like fucking spraying blood all over because I woke up after the surgery in this ward, you know, all groggy, and I looked down and the hospital gown was just red, like red with blood.
Oh Jesus!
So obviously I thought I was all fucked up. I remember like freaking out because I thought they'd cut me open and, you know, it'd all gone wrong and shit. But yeah, just like blood all over, and then it kept bleeding, kept like. For the next 2 weeks, I'd just have blood coming out of my mouth and I have to go back and get it gauzed up and shit. But I'd say that definitely, like I just woke up covered in blood, like dried blood.
Nice. All right.
The most I've probably seen was my mate groundworker Steve. We went out fishing when we were younger, and we had a tin of like sweet corn that we were using as bait. And we got into like twatting about, and one of the other guys we were with was sort of messing about, and they were sort of wrestling with this can. Obviously, cans are fucking razor sharp, and it sliced right open his thumb. And we were, you know, we kids were idiots. Like he sort of held it around his t-shirt like this, you know, rather than holding it up or anything. Just like, and his whole t-shirt was just covered in blood. And he's apparently he went home and was just like, "Mum, I think I've hurt my thumb." And it was just like Jesus. And he just passed out. Apparently, like fell on the floor.
Nice. Yeah. George McLeod will be happy with your answers. He's
good. Big up, George.
Yeah, I think mine. Yeah, it was either that time I had to have like a minor operation on my thumb because it was like infected, but I didn't have any anaesthetic or anything.
You've been putting up your bum when you was wiping your
anus.
Yeah, but there was another time where my dad hit me in the face with a bowling ball, and it was accidental. But it was kind of my fault. You've got when you're bowling, you've got the section that you're not supposed to go into unless you are the person bowling the ball. And
reasons for, you've just found out.
Yeah,
that is the
I approached my dad as he was like, he'd picked up the ball, you know, he's getting ready for his turn. And I wanted a slush puppy or something. So I like approached my dad, stepped up onto the bit while also saying, "Dad." So then he turns around like, "Yeah." And I'm just right there and he just fucking cracked me right in the face. Luckily it didn't like break a tooth or anything, but it like my mouth must have been closed and it just like both my lips basically went into like my top and my bottom teeth, so like my lip was just bleeding. But yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
Thanks, there you go. Big up George McLeod for the question.
I know long time listener, dedicated fan Sean will probably not like that section. I'm sorry.
No, apologies.
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah. On that note,
we'll
call it. It must be like fucking midnight for you, George.
I know. I'm ready for sleepy time. Luckily, I've got the day off tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
bank holiday, innit? Lovely.
Nice. You can have fun with your stepladders.
Yeah, I've got to move them around. Next week or next time, I might have one on this side, one on that side.
Whoa!
So listeners, tune in for that. You know, symmetry.
Watchers.
Yeah, the watchers. Oh, yeah. You people that are not watching the podcast, you're missing out on our decor.
Yeah. Mine's especially shit.
All right.
But we have got floor again now.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, good.
That's why it's good to have a bit of floor in your life.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah, it keeps you grounded.
Right, on that note.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Bye.